Hey, good morning, guys. Frank Thomas here. Guess what? Michael's not here, so we get to do anything we want to this morning. When the cat's away, the mice will play. Um, I think Michael did a little too much ranking factory this weekend, and he's already ranked factory himself out, so he's not doing well this morning, so we'll let him be. But we got lots to talk about here. We were actually, Terry and I are talking, and some of the guys have been listening in the pre-show before we went live here, talking about all the different ranking abilities and that. And this morning, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the things you can do to, you're using Live Stream Genius, and that's brilliant. But the things you got to do, not would like to do, but you got to do to build that video. And I'm going to start it off by showing you a little example here. But I'm going to actually just give a second here. Good morning, everybody here. I see Gord, you're with us. Terry, for sure. Peter, good morning. And Scott, good morning. And Joe, the goat farmer, is with us. Joe, how you doing this morning? I hope you're doing well. I'm going to start off here with an example. And this is actually a real live example. Let me just light it up here for you. What I did was I'm going to kind of let you in on something I'm doing. And you guys are not allowed to compete against me, just so you know. You're not allowed to compete against me. What happened is I took the video. We did a webinar with the folks over at Ranking Factory, because that's the product we wanted to promote this week. And because we're really, really shocked about it and really surprised at how well it's working. And this is not a Ranking Factory hoopla or anything like that, but this is just an example. Now, what happened was, I know for the long term, getting a lot of keywords for launch jacking is going to be really important for this product, because when they eventually get all the little bugs ironed out, they get themselves all put together here, as they're looking at a public launch in the next 3 months, I'm going to want to rank for a lot of keywords for these guys. And like I said, I'm kind of giving you, I'm letting you in the inner sanctum here. You can see what I'm doing. But just so you know. Now, one of the things I look for right away is I look at the results here. When and yes, this is my video here. Before I did this, I did notice it was over 2 million results, and I went, okay, it's not crazy busy, but it's busy. It's a busy little niche. You know, it does have a little bit of competition in it. So I knew that was going to be a bit of an issue. And sure enough, what happened was, when I went to live stream the video, I used Live Stream Genius. I just used a simple project and told it to stream in the background so I could nav the link right away. So I had it. And what I did was, literally within a minute, it came up and it was #1 on Google. And I can see why. You know, even though that's got high competition for this word, there's nothing really close that is close to that keyword in title, in context, whatever, even though it does have a lot of results. So I knew that I was in a place where I could get this ranked and possibly just have it stay there and not do very much, but I knew I was going to have to do something with it, or do something with it to keep it ranked. Within about 24 hours, what I did was I had set it up, I had done the editing on the video, and I started live streaming it at around midnight 2 days ago, and got up in the morning, so it was about 12 hours later. The event was no longer showing in Google. It was not showing anywhere. If I went under videos, I was showing kind of somewhere in here. I think this 1080K factory ranking review was the top video, and that was the video that was showing on the front page here, and it was showing at about number 5 or 6. I wish I took a screen snap of it, but I didn't. But my video was gone, and that was kind of what was concerning. But Michael and I talked about it, and we hadn't really gotten Ranking Factory yet, and I'm going to be putting Ranking Factory against this as well. But you know, we just did a simple embed network spin. I set up 6 jobs in the embed network and fired it out with the keyword Ranking Factory Review with this URL. That's all I did. And within about 12 hours, the video was #1, and it's held its position now for 2 days. So that says to me it's probably going to hold its position. Now, I'm going to be doing more things in the future to keep it, one of them being using the Ranking Factory. But the whole idea is sometimes live streaming is not enough, and that's what you got to know. So live streaming gives you a huge boost, gives you that huge jump in what you can get. But to keep those rankings, you need to do something else. Now, we've had a lot of stories coming out from folks who are using Megatron or AKA Ranking Factory. They changed their name recently. I think it's a good name change. I like Ranking Factory better, to be honest with you. But there's been lots of questions we've been getting about it, saying, should we be using Ranking Factory, or should we be using the embed network, or should we get our own Money Robot licenses, or what should we do? And I am of the opinion that you should do all of them. And it's not that I want you to spend all your money, but you do need a variety of links, and this has never changed. This is something that's pretty evergreen when it comes to backlinking strategies. I remember a time when you could create wiki links. Like, this was 7-8 years ago. You can create wiki links and get ranked for anything, because Google favored wiki links for a while. And all of a sudden, wiki links went out of favor. So anybody who just created wiki links disappeared out of the rankings, and all of a sudden, comment links became very popular. And then picture links became popular. And what happens is the algorithm is constantly shuffling between different types of favored links. One of them being right now Google Properties. Okay, and links within Google Properties are favored right now by Google. And so, would you stick to that one type of ranking strategy? Definitely not. You don't want to do that, because you want to be able to have multiple kinds of ranking strategies to continue to stay ranked for the long term. And that's kind of my point here. I will use Money Robot, but then I'll turn around and use Ranking Factory. I still, when I have something difficult, I'll fire up SE Nuke, because I still have lifetime licensing for that. And I'll run a few jobs with SE Nuke as well. Even though the way it works is a lot like Money Robot, it is a little different too. So I have lots of different ways to rank. Hey, Terry, you still around here? Because I see you've just got your picture up right now.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Terry, let's dive a little deep in here. You were talking about what you've been carrying on. What have you been encountering within your business? Because you have your own local business, or is this a global, or is this a international business?
Well, I do local SEO, but I've got clients around the country. But okay. It's all targeted for their wherever they are locally.
Mm-hmm. So what are you finding? Because I know you've started using Ranking Factory as well, and we were talking SE Nuke, bashing SE Nuke here just a few minutes ago. So I can tell you've been around the block just a few times. Tell us what you've been up to and what you've been discovering.
Well, with it's been about 2 months, I guess, playing with Megatron, and now, thanks to the Transformers franchise, they had to change their name, but Ranking Factory, and I am fascinated with it. It's an amazing piece of software. It will it saves a lot of time and headache if you do any kind of Google stacking at all. But the beauty of it is, I'll build a Google site that points to, usually I'll focus on inner pages for clients, but I'll build a Google site that focuses on that inner page. And then I can drop 4 or 5 Gmail accounts into the Ranking Factory, all with the same keyword, and it'll build Google Documents, calendars, maps, all sorts of stuff, all pointing to that one G site I built. And I'll build a new one with every campaign. And so that Google site has juice coming from several different Google accounts and the properties in it. And then as I start to see movement, I'll wait a little while and then go into that Google site and alter the URL to a different inner page. And that same juice is now all going to the next page in their site.
Now, do you find that hurts the rankings at all for what you've already ranked?
No. And I think it's partly because they're in the same URL. So they're and if a site's siloed with interlinking correctly anyway, it's bouncing around in that all over their website, the juice anyway. So yeah. I think it gets a quick boost to this page and a quick boost to this inner page, and then, like I said, they bounce around their interlink, and it helps the home page also.
Right, right. And that's good. That's actually an excellent strategy. And it's good to have different strategies. There's no one perfect strategy. Um, you were saying that in the pre-show that there was one client you were competing against like almost 10 million results or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, a little over 10 million results. Um, it's a home security company. They sell home security systems, and they just recently came out with this new. I shouldn't say it's not brand new. It's been out about 6 or 8 months. A system that is new to this area, though, to the area where they're local to, and it eliminates false alarms. So it's great for their commercial end, because a lot of places they start charging you if you have too many false alarms. The municipality will charge you and stuff. So and because the system they've just gotten, the people that they lease it from, like they're an affiliate basically. They're a local affiliate for this. That place supplies them with so much content and tons of videos. So I took those videos. Of course, I live streamed them into 3 or 4 different channels, and then set up playlists in each channel with those in them. And then using the ranking factory, it will cross link all those channels, but through Google Docs that it creates. So it's not directly linking this YouTube account with this YouTube account.
Yeah.
It sets all that up. And then I take the URLs of those videos and the playlists and drop them into Ranking Factory. Has this more processing utility that is amazingly powerful. And it goes and creates short URLs for each of those URLs, and then makes a Google Doc of them, and then creates short URLs between those Google Docs, and starts it bouncing around. And then you just embed a few of the videos, and the videos point to, in this case, we're all pointed to their inner page that was announcing this new. It was announced on their homepage, but they built a new page. This is right around the 4th of July weekend, 1st or 2nd of July. They had this new page built about their new system and mention of it on the homepage. And the videos linked to both of those. And 12 days later, the top 5 spots for their main keyword were a Google map with lots of points of interest all over the area, all referencing them, of course, with the same videos and images and stuff. Then the next 2 were 2 live streamed videos. The next 2 were their inner page and their home page. And then various iterations of that keyword brought anywhere from, at worst, 3 of the top 4 to in there, and then for 3 different municipalities in the area. This is an area known as, and half the country has places like this, known as the Triad, because there's 3 towns right near each other. So, wanted to rank for all 3 of those as geolocators and stuff like that. So it's that kind of domination on all 3 towns. And then I set up campaigns, and haven't run them yet, but I set up campaigns for all the little municipalities and towns in between and around. And I just bought a new little laptop that I'm going to run all them on there, and get domination for everywhere, because the maps were the map that ranked, had every zip code in that area set up, and so yeah, in 12 days, and they own that.
12 days, that's incredible. Jeez. Like I haven't heard rankings that quick in years, in literally years. Like it.
I mean, we get thrilled with Live Stream Genius for those 1 minute, 10-minute rankings and stuff. But this, like I said, I got not just videos. I get 2 videos, but also a Google property, and more importantly, their websites, which is the goal, to get their website ranked for me, and they like. But they like seeing, of course, their videos or anything else that points to them. But they love more than anything else seeing that domination. Where I called the guy and I said, Gary, look, someone has to scroll to find your competition, and people don't like to scroll. That's such an effort. They want it, handed to them right there. So yeah, it's
exactly
really
exactly.
impressive.
If you're not on the front page on the very top, it's like buying a newspaper. If you're not right there, right on the front page, not on the bottom fold, then you don't exist. Like that's kind of what they're looking for. Terry, Kala Diaz, pardon me if I've mispronounced your name wrong, is on the YouTube channel watching the video live here. And she does have, or he does have a question for you regarding, are you using aged accounts, Gary? Or Gary, looking at too many names here, Terry, or are you using just creating accounts on the fly as you need them?
I purchase accounts, so they're not, so they are, well, not all of them are aged. Some of them are, 3 months old, but yeah, no, I don't create them. Not that that's too much effort. Don't get me wrong, but but if I just need one, I'll create one. But I usually don't need one. I usually get 10 or 50 or something like that. So
yeah, you're using that whole bring your army in and dominate sort of thing, which is a good methodology.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody can rank somebody's website in the front page. Anybody that knows what they're doing and is willing to put in the effort. But if you can dominate the front page, and I got permission from Gary, the guy that owns the company, to use it when I do presentations to local business owners. For example, I've got another client who has 8 on the front page, and she had given me permission to use hers. So when I do business presentations, I can say, as an example, if you Google, and they Google, they pull up their phones or whatever and Google this, and I said, now you notice that what's at the #1 spot? That's the same thing at 2, at 3, at 5, at 6. And they go, oh, okay, and it instant expertise. I mean, they don't doubt that you can do what you say, and are willing to write you checks for it. So.
Yeah, and it's not only about giving them a spot on the front page, it's about taking over the front page at times. And if you are in a marketplace where, like the example I showed was actually a really good example. There's not really a lot of light competition. With a ranking factor, I could take over the front page for a lot of the hunter keywords for people look for when they're looking for the software. And so, yeah, just quickly, Tom was asking what software we're talking about, ranking factor. You can dominate the front page and take it over. So not only do you give your client a front page entry, but you literally give them exclusivity on the front page. And I think that's an incredible asset all by itself.
And a niche like home security, it's competing against ADT, CPI. I mean, big boys that spend, millions of dollars nationally on TV and radio and, splash it everywhere. But when somebody pulls out their phone and looks it up, they don't see his competition. So
I'm just watching the questions here. Yeah, Joe's been, Joe, if you want to jump on here and give your 5 cents, because I know you've been actually pretty involved with Ranking Factor as well. You've been very active in their Skype group, talking to a lot of different members. I did mute you, Mike, but if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to. Wade is asking, or Brian is asking, yeah, Brian, there's lots of stuff in the Facebook group. Definitely look into both Facebook groups. We're talking quite extensively about it. These guys have extended a really good deal for us until Sunday at midnight. And I'm not trying to push the software. You guys need to make a decision whether it's something you want to buy or not. But we're having really good success with it. I'm personally using it as well now. It's kind of funny. We do see lots of software come and go. And I see this one sticking around with us and us using it for the long term because it fills a niche, it fills a place. We could do all this stuff manually. It's not hard to do, but it can be a real pain in the keister, and I don't need another one of those. So, Terry, I see you unmuted yourself, or not Terry, Joe, I see you unmuted yourself. You can take over if you like here.
Or not.
Or not, yeah. Brian is asking, he's pretty cautious about any product described as amazing. The cool thing about this is, let me be bluntly honest, and I'm going to be bluntly, callously honest about the software. It's really rough around the edges still. It still needs lots of love, lots of TLC. It's like Livestream Genius when it first came out. It was rough around the edges. And they have to hammer out the best way, the best methodologies within the software to run it, to make it easy. But the principle is something that a lot of high SEO guys have been doing now for about two to 3 years. And that is using Google's properties as their own. And he's asking, are the owners and the developers pretty reliable? Time will tell. We have done some work with these guys in the past. The guy who invented this concept, or he didn't really invent it, he's kind of learned it over time, but he's been really one of the first to bring it into a form of software. He's been around for a while. He's a South African bloke, and he was working with other marketers for a while, and eventually decided to branch out on his own and start developing Money Robot, or Money Robot Factory, Ranking Factory. Got too many words floating around my mind. His name is John Curry. He's a good bloke. Talked to him on many occasions over the years. We've known him now for about 2 years. You know something? I think that that this is going to be something good for the long term. Michael and I are we're pretty. You guys don't see a lot of what happens in the background. If we have an affiliate do something goofy, we get ugly. And because, whenever we say something, like we come to you guys and say, wow, look at this great gizmo we have here. You're trusting that we've done our homework, okay? And you're trusting the fact that we've done some time, we've looked at it, and especially when it's an expensive product, because even with the discount here, this is still 750 clams for the lifetime license on this. You're trying to make sure that we've done our homework on this, and we love to be infallible. We love to know the future. We can't. It's impossible. But we are there batting as well. Like even since they've released their software, they released Perfect Content just recently. We did advertise their software last month too, which was, we liked it. Well, Michael really got into it. I didn't get into the Perfect Content so much, but he did. And to say that he hasn't spent probably about 100 hours talking to these guys since then is probably, I'm short-terming that. I'm not giving it enough, because he really back and forth, making sure that the software is right and cleaned up. And even now, I've been using this software, and I've been talking to these guys. Been talking to Patrick quite a bit over on their side of the fence, cleaning stuff up. They're a young company, and they're still hammering out the processes. So, what's the problem? They're hammering out their processes. They're hammering out the software. They're hammering out how to handle licensing. They're hammering out all these things that even I still today have to hammer out. Like, we've gotten slick in a few areas, and but we still have troubles too. So, it's no bad thing against them. It's just they need to hammer these things out. So that's, if I was to be critical about anything, that's why I'm critical. The concept, though, is sound. Will this last forever? Who knows? But one of the things is, and this is an interesting thing, Brian, you'll like this. Do a little bit of digging right now on Google and UK and Google. What's happened is they've actually got themselves into some pretty hot water. Let me just find a page for it here. They've actually been fined by the UK. Okay, we got somebody here. I'm just going to mute you for a minute here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. I'm sad to see this happen to anybody, but that's sad when it comes to Google, to be honest with you. And they beat my head against the wall a few times. They've been hit with a huge fine by the EU because they are giving their shopping properties. They're giving their shopping properties. Oh, stupid commercials. They've been giving their shopping properties precedence because it's one of their properties, and they've done their homework, they've done research. This is a very thin article on it, but I was reading about 2 weeks ago, and it's a pretty thick article. And what happened is they give presence to their properties, and you can see that if you do anything. If you go to Google.com, when they still had PageRank, it's a PageRank of 10. You know, like that's the highest PageRank, and there's not many sites that have that. I think Facebook was still a PageRank 9, and YouTube PageRank 10. You know, Google search PageRank 10. You know, you go to all their properties, and they have ultimate trust for all their own properties, and that's where the problem lies. So what happens is, in all the goofiness that their algorithm does to figure out rankings, they give links on their sites higher priority. Yes, it has changed somewhat since October last year. And Terry was alluding to this in the pre-show. We were talking about the difference between ranking sites and ranking pages. They've got enough CPU power now that they don't have to, that they can actually watch pages within a site. What happened was, we initially saw this, and I wasn't surprised when it happened. It was just, it was an evolutionary, it was going to happen. What happened was there was a lot of marketers that what they do is they put up a YouTube video, and they would use really spammy tools like GSA, PageRanker and stuff like that. I can't remember the GSA, and they would just throw thousands and thousands of spammy links against their YouTube video, and it would get ranked. Why? Because Google was looking at YouTube as a whole, and they were looking at link count to a video, they were looking at impressions to a video, and they weren't looking at YouTube as a link. They weren't looking at any particular link. In August, or in about October last year, when the big slapdown came on, and they were closing accounts with lots of live events and that, we felt that pretty hard. But they also were penalizing a lot of accounts that had lots of spammy links going to those videos as well, and that was just that was trouble asking to happen. So they've gotten good enough that they can watch links within a site. I still think they're hammering out that algorithm. There's still lots of little weirdness about it, and that's why you see weirdness in the rankings every once in a while. But the trick here is to use their properties as well, and that's one of the reasons why we like the Ranking Factory. Not because it's a new cool piece of software, but it's because it's using something that has been working for a while. Now, for Google to change their algorithm, you got to realize, yes, they're in trouble with the EU right now when it comes to ranking their own properties and ranking them favorably. How much money are they going to lose if they change the algorithm that they give equal ranking across the board? I mean, think about it. Really think about it. If they say, okay, we're going to give our properties a PR of 0, which means no authority whatsoever. Now, a link can have no authority whatsoever, but a site still has authority, and that still trickles into the links in the site. Like, how much money would they lose? Like right now they're getting hit for, I think it's 2.1 billion euros. Or pound, I think it says pounds in this article. But and that fine's going up daily. But they are earning more. They're still earning more than that fine is every day in their own sites, in their own shopping stores. Okay, how much money? Like we're excited to make a few $100 a day. They're making millions of dollars a day. So for them, this is huge business. Like this is let's pay somebody off to make this go away sort of business. And I don't mean to be crass or to insult or to flamigate anybody, but really, when it gets up to this level, there's a lot of money on the table, and people get pretty nervous about that. I'm just going to check to make sure there's any questions. Okay. Thank you, Kyla. So yeah, Tom, you were asking about a link. I'm just going to have you jump over to, because this chat's going to go away, I'm going to have you jump over to Facebook and go into the inner circle. I think we're advertising in both live stream locations to see what it is and what they're talking about there. But it's an excellent piece of software. It's something I recommend you get on with. I was actually watching a video before the show Another one of our members, Eric, he has a local DD business. He actually put up a video testimonial because he's doing a lot of the other things, but he also threw Ranking Factory into the mix as well. And he found that he's getting into they call the 3-pack. That's the Google listings, like the local business listings. And he's getting into a lot of them around his area in lots of different municipalities where he wasn't able to do that before. And I believe it's because he's using the Google properties. Okay, Thomas, so you got it. That's good. Around him, like he's using his Google properties to rank in the local business listings. Got to show you what I'm talking about so you know what the heck I'm talking about here. I can't remember the area in his niche. I don't really want to disclose that anyhow. Okay, let me just share my screen again. This is just an example. This is not the example, but an example. This is the 3-pack he's talking about right here. He's got himself not only within his city, but in all the municipalities and areas around him. His business is now showing up in the 3-pack around him, which is just amazing. I've known that this is hard. Like, this is a pain in the butt because there seems to be a little more work to get yourself into this 3-pack. Terry, are you in the 3-pack for any of your businesses in the area or anything like that? Yeah, I gotta unmute you, man.
Yeah, I've got several clients in the 3-pack. It is a pain in the ass to get them up there. But I wanted to mention, if you'd gotten in on Megatron Ranking Factory 2 months ago, it ran smoother than it does now because it didn't do nearly as much. Through the Skype groups and people that are trying out and playing with it, there was no Google Maps wasn't in it. I mean, they've added stuff, tons of stuff. And that's where then they run into little conflicts with what it's trying to do now and what it was already doing and stuff like that. So, but they've been real responsive to users. And it reminds me of Frank and Michael, when there was, when Google changed their sign-in thing, people were like, oh my God, no longer I can't sign in. The LSG keeps shutting down and stuff. And Frank, buckled down, got to work and fixed it. And they do that with Ranking Factory. They go in and make changes and updates. It's on version 3 now. But when it was like 1.2, it was flawless, but it just didn't do a lot of the stuff that it does now. And as they add stuff in, then they've got kinks to work out and so on and so forth. But they're real good about responding to people's questions and issues, and even better, suggestions on, it'd be neat if there were people saying some of my Google documents I noticed are not getting published. And it was because of a problem with the speed of the Google Drive interface and stuff. So they added a module that'll go back in and, publish everything in your Google Drive if you want, or around a particular date or that sort of thing. So they're real responsive to that. Now, will it last forever? Nothing lasts forever, but there are a whole lot of other programs that came out when Livestream Genius came out that are no longer any good or no longer followed up. And, Frank and Michael have been good with it. And from my conversations with Patrick and Gary and John and even Wagard, who codes a lot of it, they're real responsive, and I get the feeling they're in it for the long haul too, and we'll be supportive of it. So,
yeah, one of the signs, and this is not infallible, but one of the signs that I found is any company that starts out and their software's a little more pricey, they usually stick around because they realize that if they don't make that money, Michael and I could have came out when we initially came out. We were giving out Livestream Genius for $67, and we knew right from the beginning that we wouldn't last. But something, the problem was nobody would give us any attention whatsoever. We struggled in the beginning to even make a sale. And, we almost flopped before we got off the ground. And we had to drop our price to an absurdly low level to get people interested. And once we started getting people interested, now we had other people around us going, yeah, this is actually pretty good, and these guys want to make it work. The price, we tickered it up very quickly, and we experimented with different prices from $67 to $500. Now, for standard, $500 is a little bit, I believe it's a little bit pricey. But, to continue to support the software, and especially the pro version, you guys don't realize, like you guys see updates come out about once a month, and I try to make sure I don't put out too many updates. But whenever I put an update out, I've been working on it all through the month. And it's only when, as I find about once a month, there's something critical that needs to go out. I've already updated about 50 different other things in the background because I want that software to continue to develop. I'm building things in the background that are not yet visible. And I'm continuing to add to that software, and right now I'm actually starting to move a lot of that software out of the UBOT platform and put it into a C# native platform, and opening up a lot of areas. But it really, you need the capital. You need the capital to keep to be able to burn that oil on there, because either I'm working on my clients or I'm working on the software. And if I'm working on the software, I'm not working on a client. So I do need to make sure that I cover that side of things. And you guys have been excellent. You guys have been very responsive. You guys get it. You guys understand it. Takes money to make money. And I know these guys are a little pricey up front, but that gives me a little bit of confidence in that they know that they need to make the money to make this last, to make this product last. So we'll just have to see. It's a good in concept. I think really, and I was pretty blunt with them. I said, the only thing I'm really ticked off about is I didn't write the software, because it's a really good idea, and a lot. Like, I didn't have a lot of, I had a lot of pieces. I was using Google properties. I already knew about using Google Sites, about using Google Links, the short links. I already knew about, well, Biosphere Genius, of course, and I've been using those techniques. But I never thought about a lot of the other things I've been doing, and I can see that these guys have been thinking about it as they've been developing the Megatron as it turned into Ranking Factory, as Terry said, because of the copyright issues. And the interesting thing here is that sorry, somebody here left a comment and grabbed my attention. And the thing is, it's a good concept, and like I said, the only thing it's bothered me is I wish I developed. Yeah, how does RF Maps compare to the Maps program you're developing? And that's from Peter. It is a different animal. I'm looking at developing a Maps program that is really designed to do a lot of high-end things. Now, one of the things about Ranking Factory is it's designed to make those properties, and it's designed to spit them out. It's a lot like Money Robot in that case, where it's designed to spit them out and design the interlink between them all and that. And it does a lot of things throughout the full automation, so you don't get a lot. You can put some specifics into it, but not a lot. The Maps program I'm working on does allow you to go one step even further and to develop the maps even more detailed. And Peter will be having more details on that coming out here shortly. It's again another project I'm working on. Too many things on my plate. Hey. I'm just reading a comment Joe's made here. RF seems pretty cool, Swiss Army knife. Yeah, the main thing missing, at least for me, is cohesive directions, but I'm trying to help with some of that because I want that myself. And he's right. He's right. Again, they're a new product. You guys are getting in the ground floor. Terry got in on the ground floor. And, as time goes on, lifetime pricing is going to definitely go away. I can see it already. As well as you're going to pay a premium on a monthly basis for this product as they develop it, and they get it all lined up nicely. So it's just a matter of time. So yeah, guys, I am going to probably end up killing this webinar a little bit early this morning. I know I'm kind of doing this on the fly on you here, but this kid's a little bit sore this morning, so. And unfortunately, Michael wasn't able to show with us here this morning, but I hope you guys got some value out of this morning. Go ahead and take a look at Ranking Factor. If it's for you, then that's great. If you have more questions, I do have the page up in the membership site. You can rewatch the video in the membership site already. It's already all done because I knew it was going to be a little tender at the end here. But I do need to get myself off here and go deal with pending medical issues. We'll just leave it at that. Guys, thank you. Terry, thank you so much for your input here this morning. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this and got something from it. Be sure to kind of watch out and talk to these guys and find out what they know and learn something here. Even if you don't buy Ranking Factory, there's something to take away from here, and that's how to use the Google properties. So guys, good luck. Have a great Saturday, and be good. We'll talk to you all later.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.